Welcome back, high performers. In this second session, we're going to talk about the high performance tools that you can use in your own life to change your life. These are the same 8 tools that I'll use working with any level of client that I'm working with, that if we can put these things into their life, I know things will change. And you're probably wondering at this point, like, hey, I'm in session number 2, man. I don't know exactly what I want out of life yet. I'm like, that's okay. First, I'm teaching you how to learn. Then I'm teaching you what the tools are now. And then the next session, we'll be talking about getting a little clarity about what you'll be focusing on, not only in our own program, but your overall life. But first, I just want to equip you with, here's how to learn, and here's the tools that you can use, with or without me. If you can learn like this in your life, you'll get ahead. If you can use these tools in your life, you'll get ahead. I'm trying to empower you with everything you need, regardless of what your goal is, and regardless of what you want to work on this program, regardless of me, just to get you back in this high performance mindset, back into the high performance way of living. Because again, there is this other level of joy and vibrancy we can all have, but we need to use the tools to keep it. Because I know you've all been there in that place where you just felt like, man, I was in the zone for about 3 weeks, and then I dropped off. I stopped. I don't know why. I didn't make it past that 4th month, that 3rd month, that 2nd year. We all have the challenge of maintaining our levels of presence and vibrancy, joy, health, connection, relationship in this world. And it is very difficult to do without tools. And so what I want to give you is these tools or these techniques or technologies that will allow you to stay on track better. And they're very simple and they're very straightforward, but I've always found that very few people have even 4 of these running in their life. But when I start to work with them and I put 8 of them in their life, that's where they get the dramatic changes, okay? The first tool that we all have the availability to use in high performance and reaching high performance is just baselines. What does that mean? A baseline is just a measurement of where are you, right? Where are you today? So for example, in this next session, we'll be looking at the different arenas of your life, and we'll be saying, where are you right now? You know, are you in a place where you feel like that's a level of happiness and fulfillment that's a level 5, or is it a level 10? And so taking baselines is very, very important when I start working with somebody, so I understand where they're at. I'm going to ask you to do baselines throughout these 5 weeks as well as throughout the rest of this year. I'll always be saying, measure yourself on this, test yourself on that, give yourself a number on this, rate yourself here, track this, because by doing that, you know if you're improving, you know if you're getting better. You know, even if it's not something you're always going to be at a level 10 at. I gave you an example in the previous session about how I always ask myself, you know, several times throughout the day or whenever I'm waiting in a line, what level am I right now in terms of my energy and presence in life? Like right now, do I feel a level energy, it's a level 10 or a level 2? And by asking that question, I'm basically giving myself a baseline, and then my mind guilts me into saying, you should be higher. You know, if my energy level is 4, my brain goes, dude, you don't want to live life at level 4. You want to live level 8. Level up. And that simple baseline question about where am I in terms of my energy and presence lifts me to another level. Does that make sense? So by rating ourselves or giving ourselves a number, or what I just call baselines, it helps us stay on track by asking questions and rating ourselves. And we'll be doing that throughout this time together in High Performance Academy. Really one of my favorite tools is just to baseline people. Where are you? Like, where are you? And getting their understanding of where they really are will help us figure out what to improve and where they might go next. And sometimes we find that in taking baselines with people that they're doing a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing. They don't enjoy, they're not contributing, they're not helping them connect, they're not helping them move forward. And it's like, you know what? That's just not, why are you even doing that? You know? But a lot of people haven't evaluated different parts of their life for a very long time, so we'll focus on that one in the next session. Second tool we all have in high performance are what we call triggers. And if you've seen any of my work in high performance before, you see that I've really pushed this for a very long time, that we have to set up cues or triggers that make us do something, that bring our attention or awareness back to something, that remind us about what we should be or who we should be or how we should be interacting. And triggers can be psychological, they can be technical, they can be social. Let me give you a couple examples so you understand, and then you can start setting up in your own life. One of my famous triggers that I've taught people for, I don't know, almost 7, 8 years now is the door frame trigger. And that is anytime you walk through a door, it triggers a question for you. And that just, you set that up subconsciously or consciously, and it becomes almost unconscious at some point. But so for example, I'll work with a senior executive and I'll help them say, I'll say, okay, when you walk into your office, what is a phrase you could say to yourself every day to bring the best of you in here? And they'll come up with a phrase. And then I'll teach them every time they walk through that doorway, they trigger that phrase. And that phrase triggers the emotion or the attention that they need to have to deliver that, right? It's a reminder cue, that door frame. I teach people to do this in your house. I don't want you to ever walk into your house ever again without walking through that door and triggering a thought, right? I don't know what it is for you. For me, I have 3 words that I remind myself of when I walk into my house. Every time, not sometimes, every time. It's a trigger. The door, my house. Door opens, I walk in, my mind hits those 3 words. And by conditioning myself to do that, my home life is what I want it to be. Does that make sense? My feeling and the energy that I bring into my house, I am responsible for because I had an intention trigger around that door. I also have triggers with certain people in my life, right? With my lady, my wife, I have a way, when I see her every day, the first time, my mind says something to me. And it's made our life and our relationship extraordinary. I do that with my teammates, my team members, some friends, or even some family members. I have a different thing. Every time I see them, I remind myself of something. And that helps me set my attention appropriately. Triggers can also be technological. If you come to our live High Performance Academy event, and again, those dates and details were under the welcome video, but if you ever come to our live event, one of the things we make everybody do in the seminar is pull out their phone, figure out 3 words that are going to define their identity, and type those 3 words into their phone with an alarm that comes up several times throughout the day. So I don't know if you know it, but on your phone you can set alarms, and you can set an alarm with a label. You can label the alarm. So we label it for 3 words that remind them how to be and who to be. And by doing that, extraordinary things start to happen. They're going throughout their day, and they're just going through the motions, and then bam, it pops up, something on the phone that says, bring the joy. Or it pops up something that says, be kinder, more funny, and more loving. Or it pops up something that says, visionary, bold, caring. But that reminder, it's a trigger. It's just a psychological trigger that happened that they didn't even have to think about. It just, boom, the phone goes off, they look at that. And if you think this is so basic, I taught this to Ariana Huffington, and she was like, I love that. And a lot of people have been doing this, and they've experienced radical transformation. It's just a trigger. It's something that goes off and reminds you about something. The next tool that I use with people for high performance are what we call inspiration stacks. What does that mean? An inspiration stack means you essentially know why you truly want something, and you stack inspiration on that to make you really do it. For example, a lot of people say, well, I want to lose weight. And I say, why do you want to lose weight? And they say, well, just to feel better. And I'm like, that's not inspiration. To decide to lose weight so you can be inspiration to your kids so that they'll get healthier, that's one more element of inspiration. To have a playlist of inspirational songs that you can listen to while you work out, that's a stack. Inspiration to have a role model or a coach to help you along the way, that's a stack. To stack on working with somebody who inspires you or watch a video or listen to someone, that's a stack. To have the inspiration to do it for your community, to do something for somebody else, that's another stack. And you just start stacking all these whys onto somebody. So instead of being so casual, I'd like to double my business. Okay. Why? Well, I'd like to be more rich. Not enough. We'd all like to be more rich. But if the whys are stronger and they are stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked, now you have a more compelling reason to follow through. I have so much inspiration in my life. You guys having to deliver this course, that's inspiration to get me into high performance. The people I get to serve at my live events, that's inspiration. To be a good role model for the people in my community, that's an inspiration. To inspire my team, That's an inspiration. To, just cajole and have fun with my friends, but have them see me doing something so they can chase their dreams. That's an inspiration. So I start stacking all these up, and I always remember them, especially in that day when I'd rather, my mind and body goes, why don't we sit on the couch and watch 17 episodes of So You Think You Can Dance? And I'm like, no. I have so much inspiration to be more than a television viewer right now. Does that make sense? If you find yourself constantly demotivated, it's probably because you haven't stacked on enough reasons and enough people and enough tools or conditions that will help you overcome that. Now, we all face it. Trust me. It's easy to just have a couple down days. And sometimes you need them. You need a break. You need a rest. But over an enduring period of time, if you feel like you're restless or maybe lazy, or you're just kind of frustrated with your amount of energy that you bring to things, it's time to broaden that inspiration. It's say, you know what? I'm going to get healthier for my kids. It's to say, you know what? I'm going to be a better business person because my team deserves me to be better to them. You know what? I'm going to do something for other people, but also have the role models who you can see who inspire you. Right? Watch the things that inspire you. Sometimes before I go, got to go give a great talk, I'll listen to some great speeches in history. I'll read the book, Great Speeches in History, Lend Me Your Ears by William Safire, a book that changed my life. I learned about history from the perspective of great speeches. And I love that kind of stuff. So I'll read the occasional different things. I'm brought in to work on a political campaign. I'll read something for inspiration before I go in, so I'm in the right state of mind to serve. So it's just like, I got to have those things. You have to have your playlists if you're going to work out. You've got to have the person who inspires you, who you're striving to be like. Like all of that, it stacks up a little bit. And now all of a sudden, it's so much easier to perform at your best because you're inspired all around. So start thinking about your dream, your outcome, the areas of your life you want to improve, and start asking, how can I be an inspiration for somebody else? How can I stay inspired on a daily basis? Who can I aspire to be like, to raise up my game, to play at that level? And then everything starts to move forward to you doing better. It's just one of the great tools. But most people don't think about it consciously. They're just like, I kind of got a role model, or, but it's not real for them. They haven't really sat and thought or meditated about it. I obsess about these things, and it makes me better. And that surrounding myself and my mind constantly I'm aspiring to be better, to be like this person, or to be similar category as that person, not necessarily psychologically like them, or even emotionally or accomplishment-wise, but like, I want to be an inspiration like that person is an inspiration. Cool, or I want to be an inspiration to my team, my family, my sister, my brothers. I want to be an inspiration to the people who I serve. All of that helps me go. Does that make sense? Fourth tool that you have is the power of threes. Now, we know that people can usually remember three things pretty well. And so even in political speech making, sometimes I'll advise literally some of the best speechwriters and best politicians and best business executives and best orators in the world. I mean, these are very high level people that I'll advise on how to do better in their communication. And I'll often remind them, it's like, we got to convey three things in this conversation. And they're like, well, I've got all these points. I'm like, yeah, but we need to have three themes or three emotional bents or three storylines, but we only get three because we've learned that people don't really retain much better than that. Three is a very simple thing. One of the most powerful shapes in the entire world is the triangle, right? It just, if you think about it, we can remember 3 points of an axis. It's very difficult for people to remember anything else. And so often what I'll be doing in this course and throughout our work in high performing together, I'll just give you the power of threes. I'll give you three things to do in this area. Matter of fact, you'll see in the next session, I'll give you the first section of my famous performance plan. And I'll just tell you, do these three things right here. It's not that there's not more, but just do these three things first. And by focusing on those three things, you will get some momentum. Often performance development or personal development trainers teach you to just every day have at least 3 goals that you hit. Set 3 goals and just hit them every day, and you'll start getting real momentum in your life. Just 3 things you're absolutely going to do today. For some days, if you're having a bad day or something horrible happened in life, taking a shower is that goal. Other times, that goal is to have that difficult conversation. Other times, that goal is to knock off that checklist of things that you've been waiting to do at work. But whatever it is, the power of 3. Have 3 goals, do 3 things, and you'll get ahead. The 5th high performance tool we have are your habits and your schedules. Now, obviously, in the last session, we talked about the importance and the reality that ambition kind of sucks without a calendar. Well, in this one, it's like our best tools are to set up habits and schedules in our calendar that are always moving us forward, no matter what area of life we're trying to improve. I won't hit this one so hard, but it's an obvious, easy one to win with people. A lot of people just don't have any habits. I want to be healthier. They have no habits for that. I want to be better, in leading my team. They've got no habits for that. So as soon as you give them a habit or a schedule or a routine, everything shifts. So I want you to think about what are the major things you want in your life and to start developing habits without even me. Look, I know a lot of this program you enrolled in is to get my stuff, get my way of thinking, get my strategy, get the latest science. But the best work that's going to happen is after the video turns off and you sit down and you think, okay, those are great. What else could I set up in my life? Because you know your life better than me. Right now, I'm literally just in this room with Travis Shields, my main man, shooting this video. It's just us. I'm not with you right now, right? Physically. So not being right there, I can't ask you the questions to know everything about you and help you set those habits up. So you've got to set those habits up. What are the habits I could now set up to move my life forward in this area? We'll ask those questions in the performance plan in the next session as well, okay? But make sure you're thinking about, okay, I really got to get disciplined about a new habit, some new schedules or routines that will move me forward. That's an obvious high performance tool we use in coaching. The 6th one is comrades. Getting a community of people who aspire with you. Obviously, you're here with thousands of extraordinary high performers watching this right here with you, right here. Amazing people who you'll see asking questions. And at the end of our 5 weeks, we'll put you all into an alumni private community where you guys can interact for an entire year. And everyone has now gone through the same training, so they're all sharp. We're all on the same page. But with or without us or me, it is absolutely necessary for you to get people in your life who you are seeking to grow together in that area that you want to improve. You want to become more healthy? Awesome. You got to have somebody you go work out with. Whether it's a coach, a trainer, or just a buddy, right? So coaches and trainers, people, you can pay your comrades or they're just your friends. It doesn't matter to me, but you need to have them. You need to have them. You're like, well, the area of my life I need to most improve is my relationship with my spouse or my partner, Brennan. It's just not going well. I'm like, great. Who are you going out to lunch with who is also trying to improve their relationships in a positive way? And you can brainstorm with on a continual basis to see, I'm really improved. We tried this in our relationship. It really worked. We had this conversation. It really worked. Great. It's just the same as if you're a parent, right? It's important not to be a parent by yourself. You know what I mean? It's like if you go walking with other moms who also have children, it raises your sante, right? It raises your spirit to be around other people. Oh, she's also dealing with diapers, so am I, right? It's the same thing. It's like if you're running your own business and you're like, you know what? She's running her business so well, so am I. Let's get together and talk about growing our businesses together. It's why people join masterminds. It's why people get accountability partners. It has to be, listen to this, high performance must be social. You've got to have a peer set in that particular topic area that you're working with, having a conversation with, following up with to grow to that next level. It is vital. It's why I have you come to High Performance Academy live, or I put you in that private community, or we do the trainings together so that you're around this community of people who are striving for that. It's essential. Think about any area of your life that you're frustrating with, you're upset about, it's super challenging. I promise you, you don't have a strong enough comrade in that area yet. If you just asked for some help there, or paid a coach or a trainer, or did something to have somebody with you to cheer you on, to brainstorm with, to grow with, everything would shift in that area of your life. Make sure you use that as a tool. I'll do that with athletes. I'll do that with executives. I'll do that with them. Fortune 50 executive, he's striving to grow his business. I'll team him up with another Fortune 50 executives. I'll make them call and talk to each other twice a month. It's mandatory. We set it as a schedule and as a habit. Even if they're in a different industry, I don't care. They're going to talk about what they're doing together. It is a requisite requirement. Is that redundant? It is a requirement of what I do with people. I always pair them with people. It's essential. If I really want to work at that highest level with people, I got to pair them with somebody. I got to get them to somebody that they're teaming up with. That's why coming to the live event, it changes people's lives, because I'm pairing people up the entire 4 or 5 days so that they have that extraordinary relationship with somebody who they can continue the conversation with. You've got to develop comrades. The 7th tool you got is fitness. Now, this might sound like a Marky Mark movie here real quick. I can tell you, fitness is essential to high performance. It's one of the greatest tools we have in all of our psychology. And I know you know this because you've read the same things that I've read in all of psychology and in all of neurobiology even, and everything that we know about human conditioning and peak performance. Even everything that we know about disorder. Everything can improve by improving your health, by your diet, your nutrition, how you hydrate, how you work out, how you recover, and how you fuel up. All of those things make you a better performer. Because you and I both know, if you just had 30% more energy each week, you'd crush it. Your relationships would be better because you'd be more patient and alive and attentive in them. You know that you would feel better each day, so you'd work better, more focused, clear, motivated. Everything shifts. And so whatever fitness level you're at right now in your life, here's my challenge. Go one more. Whatever it is for you, go one more. You know, if you're just like, I'm really in crappy shape, great, get in decent shape. Okay, if you're in decent shape, great, get in good shape. If you're in good shape, great, get in better shape. If you're in better shape, great, get in phenomenal shape. Make this a commitment today. Here's my high performance challenge for you in fitness. Make this the year. You say, in the next 12 months, I'm going to get in the most extraordinary health I've ever been in my life. Just for a year, just to see how it feels, how it tastes, what it's like, just for 1 year. I'm just going to get there. I'm going to make it a goal. And I'm just going to get there. I'm going to get there. I really want you to do it. Because, look, we've seen you can take a person who's clinically depressed, and if you put them on a good fitness and health routine, it improves. You can take a casual person who says they're sad or depressed on a continual basis, maybe not clinically, maybe it's not a disorder, and we know without question, decreasing those sad, negative feelings is easy. It's as simple as literally the first start is get them to take a walk every day. Go walk every day for 30 minutes. That's a start. Getting them to move, getting them in a great routine. Because here's what we know. Working out, fitness, diet, nutrition, health, all the things that we talk about in high performance, and we have a whole module on that coming up. We know without question, it activates better hormones, better movement in your body. It takes care of your neurobiology. It helps your brain literally refresh. Every night that you go to every night you go to sleep, your brain sort of like the fluids around your brain, they kind of go on like a dishwasher. And they kind of go around, all the hormones and the cells, all kind of get a nice refresh. All this little dishwasher is going on while you're sleeping, okay? And it's literally cleaning out lots of junk in your brain. And here's what happens. The higher your nutrition, the more those hormones are activated, the more that cellular biology actually improves. It's essential. Fitness is essential to longevity, and it always has been, but people take that too casually. And what I want you to do is get focused on it. Focus on it like a professional. Be like, you know what? I'm going to get fit this year. It doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden become a gymnastic, like superstar. It doesn't mean all of a sudden you're benching 400 pounds. It doesn't mean all of a sudden you can do, a 40 in 3 flat. That's not what this is about. Okay, this is about you getting for you the next level. I don't know what it is for you. For some of you, you're already phenomenally in shape. Go one more level. For those who are just like dogging it, start. But make this a goal. It is the greatest tool to high performance is energy. And the greatest result and outcome you can have in your life from high performance is increased energy. With increased energy, your vision expands, your motivation lifts, your relationships get that vibe and that pop and that sensuality back. In the moment, everything feels alive again, and it doesn't take caffeine, cocaine, or some crazy other elixir to get you there. You live there. And once you live there, you're in high performance, baby. Last one. The 8th tool we've got is your journal. And it is a must for the rest of the course. I need you to have a dedicated journal that you are journaling and doing the work through. I'm going to give you a lot of worksheets. Download them, print them out, do the homework, keep them with your journal. Let's approach this like class, and it will change everything for you. Now, I know you're like, I'm already so busy. But I know if you think back to a time of your personal development where you felt like there was a major life change, I bet you wrote things down. Maybe you wrote them on a napkin, you wrote them on a poster board, you wrote them in a journal, you typed them up. Every significant shift in someone's personal development comes from writing because it makes them question where they're at, and it activates a whole different part of their brain and their spirit to record something. So I want you to make sure that you absolutely have a journal. You keep that journal, and you're always returning that journal every single session we have. Make sure it's out there. The same one. I don't want you to write loose leaf notes. I wrote some notes here. I want you to have a binder or a journal where everything stays together. It's just like, look, if you want to take a weightlifter to the next level, they gotta do the set. They gotta write it down. They gotta record it. That way they have the baselines to know where they're at, and they can also write in one place their journey. It's important for us to record our journeys again. And if you'll record your journey, you can look back to it and see how you grew, but also you'll notice recurring patterns. Oh, I keep being challenged with that. Oh, I keep dealing with this over here. Or you recognize your strengths. Look at that. There I was. Look at how I've grown. And all of that becomes available to you because you used a high performance tool. So these are the tools that we'll be applying to your course as we go through. I'll reference them. I'm like, this is why I'm doing a baseline right now, guys. Set up this trigger right now. Get your comrade here. Do a habit, this, improve. I'll give you all this a lot. Now, I know at this point in the session, you'll be like, dude, this is a lot of stuff you're throwing at me. I know that. Please don't forget, you have access to this video and this course for life. For life. And that's part of why we're doing this. I know you might need to return to these concepts, but my challenge is some of you have never done any high performance work. You've never worked with a coach. So I'm trying to show you, this is your tool set. You know, if I was to plop into your life and you're like, fix me, dude, I'm going to use one of these 8 things to fix you. Okay? Now that you know these are the 8 ways to fix you, to go to that next level, you can apply them with or without me. And that will make you more adept at improving your overall life. So I hope that serves you. In the next session, we're going to look at your overall life, and we're going to do some baselines, and we're going to set up some basic habits and schedules. I'll give you the power of 3s. I'll help you get all this going, bam. So I hope this has served you going through this at this level. Looking forward to seeing you in the next session. Please remember and always believe you can become a high performer.